What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. And today, I'm on the opposite side of the screen. Usually I'm on that side, now I'm on this side, and it's because I got a new video coming for you guys today. It's a CRL East kind of showcase. I want to showcase, I love watching CRL East. I watch it every morning when I wake up on the weekends, and I wanted to showcase this guy right there, Hajime, because he's a rookie for FAV Gaming this season. He's a really good ladder player. He dominated. I think his season high is close to 8,600, if not 8,600. He is phenomenal on ladder, and he's had a phenomenal season so far on FAV Gaming. And I wanted to show off what he did this weekend, because on Saturday he had a great performance in King of the Hill. He's a rookie, like I said, and seeing a rookie play as good as he's doing against the team that came in second, I guess, last season in CRL East, W.EDGM. I call him W.EDGM, but he's W.EDGM. W.EDGM. I don't know if there's gaming at the end. And he just does a great job. I don't want to spoil it, but he does a really good job. And I want to talk a little bit about his gameplay. The first game is against Peas. Peas and just W.EDGM in general have kind of been struggling this season. They haven't been having the best season. But it doesn't matter. These guys are all pros. Hajime is a rookie too. Really versatile decks. You never know what this guy's going to come out with. And right now, Heal Spirit, just starting off the game, a little bit of chip. Peas, the guy on top, is known as a Golem player. So whenever I see Peas, I expect Golem. But it seems like Golem doesn't really work much in CRL in general, in East and West. In West, you barely ever see Golem. And in East, yeah, Peas is pretty much the only player I've seen play Golem. And it's not a lot of success. Weird thing is, nobody plays Elixir Golem in both East and West. I haven't really seen any Elixir Golem whatsoever. So maybe Elixir Golem is poo-poo.
I disagree.
We got a Dark Prince at the back for Peas. Like I said, I'm going to expect Golem. I can't remember. I watched these games a couple of days ago now. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to assume Golem. So Knight at the back, perfect timing. A couple of times I've made mistakes where I play my Knight too far back, and the splash damage when they meet, it's in front of the King Tower, in front of your Princess Tower, and the Dark Prince not only hits your Knight, but it also hits your Princess Tower. So little things like that. Pro players don't usually make that mistake. But really good play so far. Peas tries to go for a Prince on the right side. Heal Spirit to pull it into the Barb Hunt, and that's all he has to do. E-Dragon up high, and this E-Dragon would have done a lot better if the Barbs didn't split up, because now the Barb, yeah, he's going to focus on the one Barb, and the Skeleton Dragon's going to survive. Even the Barb survives. So the Electro Dragon, the E-Dragon, it's a weird card, because it doesn't really work. It seems like it works in very niche situations. It either works really well or it doesn't work at all. This was a weird graveyard. So Hajime goes in with a graveyard. It was in single elixir. I guess it's just now going into double elixir, so maybe that's why he did it. Or maybe he knew what deck Peas was running. But you see that, so he goes with the Knight, he goes with the graveyard, he goes with the poison as well, taking out Peas units, but he also doesn't have the poison for the elixir collector. So this is a good situation for Peas. He's got the elixir collector, he's got the advantage, and he goes Golem at the back. But watch this Heal Spirit. He goes with the Barbs, he goes with the Heal Spirit. The Heal Spirit actually pushes the Barbs a little quicker. Barbs get on the tower, heals up the Barbs, and the Barbs do a lot of damage right there. That's a lot of damage. And now it's all about defense, and this is perfect so far. So he plays the Knight at the back, he plays the Musketeer at the back, he also plays the Skeleton Dragons in the same spot. Not worrying so much about spreading them out, because he has the Tornado Piece. He can bring them all together, and just goes with the defensive poison, which was crucial, and the Royal Delivery, and just all those cards together. This is why this deck's kind of really powerful, is because the Knight, the Musketeer, the Skeleton Dragons, and then having the poison and the Royal Delivery on defense. It's really hard to break through with ground troops, with the Prince and the Dark Prince, and also the air troops being the Electro Dragon and the Skeleton Dragons of Peas. You just can't break through. Another Royal Delivery coming in, defensive poisons. Hajime's doing a really good job of just playing defense solidly. And I don't even think, okay, death damage does come in, but right now, look how healthy that left side tower is. The longer this game goes on, the better the situation is for Peas, though. The better the situation, triple elixir, he can get a really big push and maybe overwhelm Hajime. But Hajime has the lead, and this is a point that I want to emphasize. A lot of CRL players do this, and I see Hajime and a lot of the better CRL players on East and West. I see St. Belican do this a lot on West. A lot. And that is, even if you have the lead, they don't necessarily go for the win. They don't try to take your opponent's tower. If they know they can defend their opponent's push and they can defend it cleanly, like we're seeing Hajime do again and again, They just do that. They don't try to take the tower, because if Hajime right now did go for a graveyard, well, Peas could defend it with the Prince, the Skeleton Dragons, everything. Go with the Heal Spirit, heal up those units, even if Hajime poisons, just try to get rid of them, plays a Golem in front, and at that point, it could be already over. Peas does a really good job here trying to put on the pressure. I don't know if this was the correct play, though, because he has 40 seconds. Peas could have went Golem at the back, but if he did that, maybe Hajime was able to go with a graveyard and just take the game. Maybe he just didn't feel confident. But Peas is just going bridge spam right now. Bridge spam. And Hajime is doing a really solid job of just making sure none of these units even get close to touching the tower. Using the Knight, using the Skeleton Dragons, making sure they're spread apart as well. Making the Knights on the right, the Skeleton Dragons on the left, and just keeping your units spread out as much as possible. Making it very difficult for Peas units to even get close to not only dealing damage to the tower, but making sure they don't get a lot of value too, a lot of the splash units. And there it is. Hajime wins. Doesn't even go for another graveyard after he takes that lead. I think he goes for a poison at the end, but that's it. Really clean play. GG, well played. Yeah, it is. It's insane. Maybe a good matchup. He did have the skeleton. He did have the barb hut against the golem, but also there was that little bit of a misplay where he played the poison. Not a misplay, but I guess he just didn't know the deck. Nobody would have expected an elixir collector to come out, and so not only did the golem Peas have the elixir lead, he also had an elixir pump. He had a really big golem push, but Hajime was still able to defend. So that was really well played. And even when the pressure was coming on, Peas was bridge spamming, had the elixir lead. It was in triple elixir, was still able to defend. GG, well played. Let's get to the next game. Boom! We back in it. This game, Hajime is playing against Hire, who is, I'm pretty sure he is the captain of W.EDGM. I think Solo Man's a little bit better. Watch this. This is a good play. So Spear Goblins come in. He uses the Skeletons to defend the Spear Goblins, and he does it perfectly. He waits till the one Spear Goblin locks onto tower, and then he plays the Skeletons. Little things like that, making sure you can optimize the amount of damage for the most amount, the least amount of elixir possible, making sure that you can minimize damage, keep your elixir. That spread, he does so well, especially with these cycle decks. And one thing I want to show, and I think a lot of people know this, I don't think I knew this, I always think I over defended, where he plays the bomb tower against the Hog Rider, and that's it. Even if Hire uses the Hog Rider in the Earthquake, he will still use the bomb tower. And it looks like the Hog's about to get a hit on tower, and you'll see it a couple times. No matter when Hire uses the Earthquake, even if he predicts the Earthquake, it still doesn't matter. The Hog gets totally stopped, which is a really good trade for Hajime. But it's also, it's just that the patience, because I think I always played another unit on top of that, especially when I saw the Earthquake in the past. So now he's going to go in. I think this is a situation where he does play an extra unit. Yeah, he plays the Knight just because Hire played the Knight as well. And while he's defending, he goes in on offense. And I really like that for all cycle players. If you have a cheap deck, if it's 2.6, if it's Wall Breakers, if it's any deck that you just want little bits of chip, even minor, throwing in your offensive win condition, if you know you can defend with the elixir you have, is very important. And you saw right there, that minor got so much damage. And right now, Hajime is already in such a lead, and both players are using cycle decks, and having that damage lead in this matchup is going to be crucial, because I guess the one thing Hajime has going for him right now is that miner can get on tower pretty consistently, unless Hire can stop it, which he doesn't do a good job so far of stopping that miner at all. He hasn't picked up once. The wall breakers pretty much never get on, but this miner misses the pickup again. Miner's on tower, fireball comes in, just get a little bit more chip damage, but he has enough. That fireball, it could have been an overcommit, but he had enough elixir for the bomb tower. Bomb tower comes down. That time he does go for the musketeer, which is weird. He usually doesn't go for the musketeer, but maybe he had the musketeer, he had the elixir, it's going to help with the knight, so maybe that's why he played it in that situation. And now I assume another miner comes in. This deck is cool because it's not, like, the wall breakers are the win condition, but at the same time the miner is still a really solid card. He tries to go in with the offensive hog while defending, and I think that was a little bit of a misplay, because Hire did not have the elixir to defend. The miner got so much damage again, and right now this is spell cycle range. You can go with either a miner, fireball, 2 fireballs, and you can win this game. And Hajime is in a bad situation because he's relying right now solely on that earthquake damage. I don't think one single hog got on tower, And it's just, that's the problem with Hog Rider, because one Hog Rider hit can win you a game, but if you can't get a Hog Rider on tower, it is over. So Hajime, another really clean game. The things I like in that game were, first off, his elixir management, he was defending very efficiently, so he had potential to always go in with offense, so using just the bomb tower or the skeletons in certain situations. And while he was defending, if he had the elixir, going in with his offensive miners and making sure he didn't overcommit, he didn't give too much value. He knew that the wall breakers were never going to really get on tower, so instead of using the wall breakers, he was using the fireball to get tower damage, to deal damage to the knight, and also deal damage to the bomb tower. So just really solid play. And let's see if he can get this sweep against W.EDGM going into the last game. Boom, we into it, the final game. Hajime versus Solo Man. Solo Man he's a really solid player. This guy's my boy. I like this guy a lot. He did so well last season. This season, he's having a really rough time, but he's still a solid player. So Hajime, you see the Heal Spirit, you see the Skeleton Dragons, you see the Bar Barrel. It could be Graveyard, but it also could be the Royal Giant deck. Solo Man also using the Heal Spirit. It's crazy how good the Heal Spirit is. Even after the nerf, the Heal Spirit is dominant. So what do you have to do to the Heal Spirit to make it not broken? Is it broken everywhere? Because you see it all over in competitive play. The Knight, the Musketeer, and the Heal Spirit are just so popular. Solo Man has the Hunter, the Heal Spirit, and the Fireball, and the Skeleton, so he's most likely playing Royal Giant. And Hajime, I believe, is also playing a Royal Giant deck, but instead of playing the Fisherman, he plays the Goblin Cage. And it's going to be a mirror matchup, and I think Hajime's deck has a little bit of an advantage just because the Fisherman, it's a really good defensive card, and originally when it first came out, the Fisherman against the Royal Giant was a really good counter. But then people figured out that it's really easy to counter the counter with just playing units up high at the river. The Fisherman easily gets distracted, and if you can distract the Fisherman, it basically gets zero value whatsoever in this matchup, where Hajime can easily block these Royal Giants with these Goblin Cages, and playing the Goblin Cage not far away, but playing the Goblin Cage on top of the Royal Giant to make sure that when the Goblin Brawler comes out of the cage, when the cage eventually pops, right there, boom, cage comes down, cage pops, and that Goblin Brawler is going to go right onto the Royal Giant, totally stopping it. And this is actually looking like a pretty scary push. Bar Barrel comes in, really good time Bar Barrel. Hunter does get a shot, which is very disappointing, and the Skeletons are going to help finish off this Fisherman, but the Fisherman and the Hunter both got a shot. But Hajime is still in the lead just because, like I said, the Royal Giants, really hard for Solo Man to stop. The Hunter is a really good counter to the Royal Giant, but it's not a perfect counter. So right now, we got the Royal Giants coming at each other. The Fisherman is going to be behind the Royal Giant, so it's going to pull the Royal Giant, it's going to pull it into the tower. The Hunter's a little far away as well, so right there you saw Earthquake come in as well, and it still wasn't enough for Hajime, or for Solo Man, to break through Hajime's defense. Goes for another Royal Giant, seeing if he can outcycle the Goblin Cage. Doesn't matter, Goblin Cage comes out, and another Royal Giant perfectly stopped. And if you look at Solo Man's tower, it is getting low quick. It is getting very low quick. This Fisherman is not doing much whatsoever, and little bits of misplay. I don't even know if it's misplaced. I just don't know what you can do if you're Solo Man. I don't know what you can do. So I guess this can kind of show the deck selection of FAV Gaming and Hajime, because I think this is a really solid matchup. Even here, Earthquake comes in, everything comes in, the Bar Barrel comes in, and it still does not get a hit. The only damage coming in for right now for Solo Man is these Earthquakes. I think he got one Royal Giant shot early, and since then has got nothing. Skeletons up high, that was to defend the Fisherman if Solo Man tried to pull the Royal Giant with the Fisherman, but even then, Hunter, it doesn't perfectly stop the Royal Giant. Hunter's going to go in front. Doesn't really matter too much. Hunter gets dealt with really quickly. And is this Royal Giant finally going to get a shot? No chance whatsoever. Hajime knows perfectly. Not only that, but Hajime did have his Skeletons in his hand, and he could have played more Elixir there, but I think he knew that Royal Giant wasn't going to get a shot. Royal Giant gets pulled towards the King Tower. Hunter wasn't close. The slow of the Fisherman's not enough. Fireball just for memes. Hajime, clean sweep. This This kid is phenomenal. Rookie, FAV Gaming, I said it before, this guy might be Rookie of the Year in CRL East. I hope so. This is his second sweep so far of the season, and it's not even done. Let's see. Maybe he'll get more sweeps. This kid is phenomenal. This kid is phenomenal, and being maybe the reason why he's had so much success in CRL is maybe FAV Gaming itself. The organization's a really solid one. They have players like Jack and Expo Master, and maybe they're helping him with his development because this dude is good. FAV Gaming, they're looking good. They're not having the best season, I don't believe. They've had a couple of rough losses, but with the players they have and the talent, if they make playoffs, I'm scared to see what they can do. Excited to see what they can do as well. And I definitely recommend checking out a couple of FAV Gaming and checking out some of Hajime because this kid is good. This kid is really good. CRL West is back as well, so if you've already not checked out the video, I made a CRL West tier list that's above me right now. And on the other side, that side, I got a new video. It's the best decks to push with for this season. It's the final week of the season, so use one of these decks. Hopefully, it will be successful in your final push. I wish you guys the best of luck in your final push. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the future. Deuces.